Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we'll get started on our next multiplayer matchup. Today I have joined a Sanctum Sacrosanct mission. It's 1,000 points, a Conqueror mission. I'm going to be playing as the Astra Militarum, and we're going to be going against the Orcs. As it is 1,000 points, this should be a fairly quick matchup here, but it's an 80-point target, 8-turn limit. Now, I tried a little bit of a different build this time to try to just do a rush build, because I'm not quite sure where the Conqueror is here, but I have the Castellan, a Commissar, the Psyker, 2 Kasserkin, and 3 Armored Sentinels with the Heavy Flamer, and then 1 Cadian Shock Troop. Because what my hope is if I can use this move, and I can get to the location first, then I can start acquiring points before our opponent does, assuming he's not going to have his Death Copter to run in there. And what I also want to know is if I can get the Kasserkin there before his units are. I wonder if I can deploy mines and make the Orcs have to walk through that. I'm not sure what's going to be feasible here, so we're both in this mad dash to get up there. So we'll just keep running our guys around here.
Victory through discipline. Advance.
Try to get everybody together. And then I have the 1 Cadian Shock Troops here, as you guys probably know, because I like to keep shooting them every few turns to give my guys bonus momentum to 1, maybe get some bonus attacks, and 2, decrease their graze chances, and just make them more effective combative units here. So we'll try to get our guys all moved together. Now, something I am doing that's kind of stupid now that I'm thinking about that at the end of my turn is I haven't been keeping them in battle line cohesion, so I've been leaving momentum on the table that I probably shouldn't have. So that was a bit of a dumbass move on my part, but I didn't think of it until now, and we're both still moving. So I think what I'll do is just move this guy up in the front, but what I assume if he's got Ludas and stuff, he might have him set up for Overwatch. So I'll bring the Psyker up here. And if I use Night Shroud, this will allow me to have immunity from any Overwatch. And if I bring him to the center, it should then... Yep, that's what I thought. So... Oh, no, he doesn't have Ludus. Okay, that's weird. But if I keep him in the center, then because I have captured that point, the banner will come up and that'll give me some cover. This is interesting. I would have thought that he would have Ludus and Flash Gits over here, but he doesn't. So I guess let's just start moving all of our guys together, and then the following turn our move will be back up for another round.
Advance.
So we'll start with the Cadians here. We'll move these guys up here. I'll move the other Kasserkin up to here, because I guess it's going to be a horse apiece about whether
with conviction.
Depending on where they're at. Now, actually I think I want to give these Sentinels some of that move, and momentum, so we brought them back in. So now I've got 15 points to 0. And let's see what he's got for units here. Yep, I knew he was going to have some Ludus with the beamy def guns. That would just be such a mistake not to bring on a map like this. Yeah, so he's got a couple of them. And our cover is working well. Now, I've seen a lot of players be bringing these boys with the choppas, and I think that's because they're pretty good in melee, and then they still have access to the grenades, and the Orcs have some of the best grenades in the game for the frag variant. Alright. Okay, so the war boss is probably going to come up and shoot me, right? Yeah, you'll get the kill. Alright. So that actually isn't bad, because I don't think he's got anybody over here. Okay, I think I just heard a Def Dread move. I missed that, so I hope he doesn't have the big shooter, because if he does, I'm totally screwed. He's just going to keep shooting me from afar, and that's going to be a very quick match. Alright, so everybody's got momentum. Let's move you over to here. Let's give everybody some crit chances. Alright, let's rotate you around, and now we will move. And he kind of was hiding over here. So if that's the case, I should be able to move my Sentinel all the way over here and kill both those guys. Maybe I just bring you to make sure they're still there and it didn't bug out. Yeah, they're both still there. So if I move you up to here, I should be able to kill the boys with the sluggas and the shootas. So that's definitely a good use of our stuff. So there we go. Yep, 2 of them are gone. We're freaking 4 momentum away from surging though, so that's a bit of a bummer. He's got the knobs with the power claw. You know, maybe I'll use Bring It Down on the war boss and I can snipe him. Because that would be a real nice guy to take out right now, because he's going to be very powerful. He can kill all my guys in melee or at range with shooting. And he'll also get those command points, and I don't want him to get bonus attacks with his tier 1 ability.
I will lead from the
If I move you to here... Ah, there's a Death Dread. Oh my god, he brought a Scorcha. Alright, this is going to go really well for us, I think. That's huge. I thought he was going to totally screw us over. Alright, because now he's got to run all the way over here. I don't know why he's trying to flank me around the side. Oh my god, I got men... You're ready to surge too? So I can empower this and do 60 damage. Let's see, it gets away 2. So if I run all the way over to here, I should be able to block the stairs here. And then he shouldn't be able to move through. Oh man, I got this on lockdown.
With precision.
Alright, let's get these Casterkin up here. Oh no! I didn't think that that was going to happen. That the banner goes up, obviously, and now it's blocking my shots. Well, maybe we should focus on the Ludas then, since he's going to be killing my sentinels, and I need the sentinels to stay alive. I could block it with some grenade, with some mines, but he'll just avoid them. Alright, well, you killed 2 of them. I guess that's not terrible. If I move you over to here, you're going to be within 2 squares of the corner, or the edge, and I think you'll get flamed and killed. So I think I need to move you over to here. Doesn't look like it's affecting your accuracy at all. Yeah, of course you can't shoot very well. You got 76. I did use move already. Or not move, bring it down, so we might as well shoot. Alright, so that was good damage, especially with the bring it down and all those crits. Let's just bring the Cadians over here. I can set some overwatch if he decides he wants to come over and attack my guy. Now, the Flamer's probably going to do some pretty decent damage against the war boss since his armor's shredded. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put you over here. Yeah, 60 to 80 damage. Let's do that. Yeah, you did even more because you got crits, so that's huge. So then we should be able to kill this war boss the next turn. And then he should be able to body block. Yeah, see, I could shackle somebody and stop him from moving. But I think I want to just come up here and put down the maelstrom, because that'll make the knobs not be able to reach me and really mess them up. Because I assume he's going to aggro onto us because he needs to give us some points, and if he doesn't, then he's just going to be giving us another 15-point turn. So let's run you all the way up here and mess up his movement, because the other guys have to come all the way across. So this will put 60 points of damage on every model. Nice. Alright, this is going really well for us here. Alright, there's another 30 points. Or another 15. Alright, yeah, he's shooting into you because you're out in the open. That makes sense. Probably will get the kill. Ooh, baby. Oh, it did. I thought maybe he missed, and so he's going to have to do another round of attacks. Yeah, see, here comes the Death Dread. He's doing his overwatch. Yeah, here come the knobs. Okay, yeah, they're shooting into me. I can't say I'm terribly shocked by that. But now, because that freaking Maelstrom bugged out, I thought maybe it was just a little glitch, but it doesn't look like it's actually there because he's got all this movement.
As long as I draw breath, Cadia stands.
Well, son of a bitch. Yeah, see? Not only did it use up all the momentum, but it bugged out the ability. Man, what a bastard.
Experience. Action.
Alright, well, I have to stop this Death Dread from coming over here, or he's going to just kill me.
These manifold dangers are beyond your
So,
understanding.
I guess I'm going to risk the Maelstrom again, because if it works, then the Death Dread will have to walk through this multiple times, and he shouldn't have much for movement. So we'll try it. And then if I bring the Kasserkin over here, they should be able to shoot the War Boss and get the kill. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, if I come over here, he shouldn't be under cover anymore. Yep, there you go.
They never miss.
So do that. Good. Nice. And now they can surge. Alright. Who do I want to kill here? I don't know if the mines take damage from the Maelstrom or not. That would be pretty stupid if they did. Now, I can't move him up anywhere because he'll end up getting flamed. I can't believe that mine is really giving me the ability to lock this down.
Where do you need us, sir?
Alright, so I could come after the Ludas, because those knobs aren't going to be able to walk through that other area, and if they come all the other side, then they should be getting locked down. So if I brought you to here, I think what I should do is then move you to here, and then I can bring the flame and flame the Ludas. Yeah, see, 85% chance to hit. It'll go down because you're in the way.
Discipline. Experience. Action.
Oh, you didn't get any kills. Well, we'll still squad wipe them. Alright, so those guys are down. So that's huge. Although we only have one sentinel left. Alright. Well,
what next, sir?
Here we go. Let's body block the knobs. Because now the knobs suck against mass infantry because they took away the splash damage from the power claws, which was a retarded change in my opinion. So let's do that. Just let them throw a grenade. I'll keep our Kasserkin here. I could start shooting into the Death Dread, but I'm worried he may come over and just kill my sentinel, so I should probably start doing some damage into the knobs just to help weaken them here.
Right through the armor.
Alright, and then we have to pull you back because we don't want the Death Dread to come over here and melee you or you're gonna die.
Strategically sound.
Alright, and then we can move the Commissar over here, and again, we gotta keep them a little bit spaced out so we can maybe do some rear attacks onto the Death Dread. Because really, it's the Psyker, the Commissar, and the Castellan that are my anti-armor damage dealers. Alright, Maelstrom, you better not... Okay, it's still there. Good. So yeah, he's gonna flame that Kasserkin down, but who cares about that? Yep, here come the knobs, because they couldn't get through me. Yep, so they killed the Cadians. These guys are getting frustrated by the movement and coming around. Oh, that's a good idea. Throw in the frag grenade. I guess they're trying to shoot the Sentinel here. Alright, yep, and then he took damage. Okay. Alright, so the knobs are my biggest threat right now. So if I move my Kasserkin over here, and I move you up to here, I should be able to do some significant flame damage. Yep, good. And then we will shoot into here and hopefully finish these knobs off. Yep, that looks good. Oh, we're a little short. Well, let's just feed some experience into these guys. Okay, good. Knobs are down. Now I could attack the Death Dread, but honestly, I think I can just keep harassing him
Feel the weight
by
of
dropping
the
his
Emperor's
movement
gaze.
with the shackles. Yeah, because that
These
should
manifold
only allow
dangers are
him to
beyond
move
your
to there. Now,
understanding.
he will be able to flame me. Yeah, 1, 2. So he can flame my heroes, but the heroes are generally pretty resistant to flame attacks. And if I bring you over to here, you can start...
Victory through discipline.
How do I want to do this? Maybe what I'll do is I'll bring the Sentinel over here. That'll get him out of range from the...
What next, sir?
out of
I will
range
lead
from
the
the
battle line.
Luda, so he'll really have to come after you. I can bring you here, and you can use your plasma pistol to shoot into these guys.
Shoot at us.
Alright, we can pull you back.
Advance.
And I can bring the Commissar up. So now, no matter which way he comes, I'll either attack him with my Castellan, or I'll attack him with my Commissar. And we'll pull back the Psyker, because I don't want him charging and doing the melee attack into the Psyker, especially if I can keep using her to
With conviction.
weaken the Death Dread. And now, what I'll do is I'll bring you up to here, and that should interfere with his ability to flank my Castellan.
Discipline, experience, action.
And then I can pull my Kasserkin back, because I need to get them out of charge distance from the Sluggazair. His grenade
We
should
know
still
what to
be on
do.
cooldown, but this should keep you safe. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Strategically sound.
I knew you'd say that.
Alright, 55. Nice. Alright, so orcs are coming over.
My conviction will
Flaming my
likes of you.
Commissar. Oh, he's coming to get into a fight with the Commissar, huh?
My conviction will not waver to the likes of you.
Alright, here come the Ludas.
Come closer so that I can slay
Ooh,
you.
nice. That was a smart move, because if you would have killed my Commissar, that definitely would have set me back. So let's bring you up to here. I can flame here. Good. Not enough to surge. Okay.
Awaiting your orders.
But my Commissar's ability should be off a cooldown now.
Victory through
Yep.
discipline.
So what I can do is I can execute one of my
What next, sir?
guardsmen,
Moving to the
like
battle line.
so. And I can bring you over to here.
Quickly.
And now I can do this, and this should get my guys ready
Your
to
life is the Emperor's
get
despair.
increased momentum. Yep. Okay. And then I can move you over to here, and I can bring you down to here, and you can weaken those Ludas, and then the Kasserkin can finish them off. And this will also get my guys far enough away to stop him from being able to kill my Kasserkin.
We know what to do.
Well, that's not totally true, because he no longer has his movement debuff on.
Victory through discipline.
But I can, because he's facing this way, I should be able to flank him. So let's do that.
Advance.
Still have the mine there, but he never did run on it. I have yet to have a single player run onto one of my mines. I don't know if it's because I just select bad spots for him. But I was thinking the Conquer area was going to be on top of this area here, so I was hoping I could rush with the Kasserkin and then block the path and make him have to run through the mines. But I guess that would be too one-sided. But actually with her Power Fist and rear attack, she might actually just be able to straight out kill the Death Dread. Yeah. Alright, hit him again. Nice. I actually I wiped him. Alright, nice. So, fun matchup here. Definitely a quicker matchup. I suspect this is probably a newer player, but we took out a Death Dread War Boss, 2 Ludas with the Demi Def Guns, 2 boys with the Chappas, 1 regular boys with their Big Shooter, and then 1 Knobs with the Power Claws here. Our Castellan had 100% accuracy, 92 at range. Psyker doesn't give him credit. Let's see here. So we got Kashyyykin with pretty good accuracy, Armored Sentinels because the flame are 100%. Cadians had a pretty abysmal showing, but we were just there to have them shoot our opponents. Armored Sentinels 100%. The other one got killed before it got an attack, which is why it's 0. So yeah, Kashyyykin had pretty good accuracy there. This was definitely way easier than it should have been. So for my opponent, if he for some reason sees this this matchup, I understand why you brought the Scorcha, thinking maybe I was going to do like a mass infantry swarm build, but really your Death Dread does so much damage that you really should have the Death Dread with the big shooters, because then you can just sit there, because if you would have just had a big shooter, you could have just plucked them down on the side there and you would have been shooting into my heroes every turn. And then between that and if you would have just gone with boys with big shooters, you could have just killed pretty much all of my guys from range. You used the Ludas with the beamy def guns, which makes absolute sense. I would have brought 2 of them too if I were you. Because I would have assumed my opponent was either going to bring the Sentinels or a tank, and that would allow you to really take them out from significant range. I think the boys with the Choppas is a decent choice too, because they're only 55 points, and if you get them into melee, they can do some decent damage. Perhaps Storm Boys would have been a better option as well, because then you could have jumped in behind me and really gotten more control of the area in question. But the War Boss was a good thought. I see what you were doing there. If you would have got him into melee, you would have done significant damage against any vehicles or infantry, and then with his gun being buffed pretty dramatically, that's a huge buff too. But I think maybe a better option would have been the Weird Boy, so you could have given yourself the damage reduction by 10% while increasing your damage output by 10%. You could have blinded my units, and then you also could have used the Headbanger, which would have helped you take out any vehicles or heavily armored units or my heroes while staying along the outskirts of the command area here for the Conquer, and then you would have been considered in full cover. I certainly see what you're doing with the knobs and the power claws. Again, you were probably thinking if I'm going to be fighting sentinels or armor, then that will allow you to chew through it and do tons of damage, and it certainly would. But I think, if you would have done a little more range build, that would have worked even better for you here, because you had kind of like a half and half situation. You had the Ludas with the beamy def gun, and the rest of your guys were mostly melee, so I guess you're trying to do a melee build. And unfortunately, the orcs just feel really bad with their melee builds right now, so I hope someday that may get reworked. I don't expect it to happen anytime soon, since they already did a major rework of the orc faction. A lot of it is pretty good, but it seemed very strange that they gave so much focus on creating anti-armor with like the rocket launchers and stuff like that. And honestly, I never use the rocket launchers myself, but like I said, if you would just had a big shoot on that Death Dread, you could have just sat down there and wiped out a Kashyyykin squad almost every turn, followed up with the War Boss to take them out, and then I wouldn't have been able to stop you from getting into that command point as easily, and then you would have been able to just run in there and melee my guys down as well. So overall, I think this worked out pretty well. I think it shows that the Kashyyykin do have some use against factions that have low armor, high health. So I think they work pretty well against, the forces of chaos, the orcs, maybe even some of the Tyranids. But once you start to get into heavily armored stuff, they rapidly decrease in their effectiveness. Now, it's a little unclear to me about whether mines truly count as one of your units for the Conquer ability or not, because it seemed like it was giving me access to the banner, but then when I was moving other guys around, it would activate the banner again, making me think it didn't really give me the total amount of control, so I'm not quite sure how that works. And I couldn't quite get my guys into a position to take advantage of that mine to really set it off, because I'm really curious to know how much splash damage it has, because I know it has high damage output at least to one target, but I don't know how much it does on the splash, because it doesn't quantify that in the description. And then unfortunately our Primaris Psyker really shit the bed by having that Maelstrom ability bug out. Now, I've heard of other players having issues with that bugging out when they use the empowered version. I have not had people have issues when they use the regular version, but it's definitely a bummer, because usually when an ability bugs out like that, it'll refund your momentum because the game doesn't seem to realize that you triggered the ability. Whereas here, it stole our momentum, so the game, like, half and half understood what was happening. It's like, well, you used an ability. I'm not sure what ability it is, so I'm not going to give you credit for it, and it's not going to go on cooldown, but you're going to lose your 100% momentum. And so that was a big kick in the dick, because these empowered psyker abilities are really powerful. Now, I really do like that they are much easier to get to the empowered ability, because when they first came out, it was damn near impossible for them to get to the empower. But now that they're able to get momentum by just being in a battle line, and then by using their own abilities, you can see it's pretty easy to get them to be to 100 momentum and empower all their abilities and become very powerful. Like, you got to see the Maelstrom, if it would have gone off, would have done 60 damage to every model that's stuck inside there, and that would have been both to the war boss and the knobs, assuming he still elected to go in there and get the kill. And if he had, he would have killed my sentinel in melee, most likely, unless the Ludus got the kill again, and then that could have done some explosion damage to him as well. So definitely kind of an interesting matchup here, nice and quick. I'm not opposed to the 1,000-point matchups, but it just tends to be such a fast, intense playthrough or matchup that some people gets a little bit angry if I have too many of these shorter matches, so I tend to do the 2,000. But every once in a while, it's good to do a little bit of a faster match. So I hope you enjoyed these videos. If you did, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to pull up some more content for you. Have a great day.